Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to continue our lesson 3B in English, in which we have already told you about the soul and the heart. What is the meaning of putting stamp on heart and not on the soul? And now, in this video, we are going to discuss about how trivialness Allah will adopt in the day of judgment, when we will be presented beside Him and we will be held answerable for our deeds, what we have done in our worldly life. How trivialness it would have been. Let's try to understand it. May Allah help us. First of all, you are going to like it, subscribe it, and put a and press the bell. Now let's come to our topic. I am going to tell you this thing with an example. You might have heard the name of Baba Yazid Bastami Rahmatullah Alayh in the past in Arab world. He was a very religious, pious man. He was sitting after Friday prayer in the lawn of a mosque with his followers, discussing on religious points with his followers on Islam. In the meanwhile, a ball came in his lawn from the child playing outside in the street. No child was in a position to come in. He opens a little bit the door and find that few white bearded persons are sitting, and nobody had a courage to say them, to give a ball to them, or he would have a courage in him to go and take that ball. He closes his door and come back. Then suddenly a fat boy came. He opened the door by pushing it with his feet. A noise disturbed the white-bearded persons. He didn't see anything around him. Went to the ball, took it, and came back with an open door to his friends and started playing the game again. Babaji Bastami Ramtullah thought and said, this child is not legal. When he said his father was sitting in that place, also around that saint person, Yazid Bastami Ramtullah, he said, Babaji, please think over it again, because I have already said prayers in your back and had been following you in all the time. This is my child. Please review and revise your statement. Babaji said, you are right and I'm also right. Let's decide it on the next Friday after prayer. We'll be sitting here. You think over it and I think of myself. The next Friday came. People from around the villages, thousands of persons gathered to listen this problem presented, and let's see, the people were thinking what will be the decision today if this child is not lawful or illegal. When that person sat in front of that saint, Yazid Bastami Ramtullah, he put out his handkerchief and spread it on his head. He said, speak loudly what you hear, what you see. The man started talking. He said, I am seeing that I have to go to a marriage party of my relative in the morning. A walking distance is there. We will walk through the fields in the morning, and lunchtime we will reach there, had a lunch, and then we will come back at once, start walking and reach in the evening. Now the travel is on. We have reached at the noon time in the marriage ceremony of our relative. Then we had a lunch. We quickly started coming back. After some distance, the Asar prayer has come, and there is a well. The water is flowing over there, and I have decided to say the prayer. Now, I am going to do the wuzu, and my wife my wife sat down next to me. I saw radish and carrots grown over there. I said I washed it out with water washed them out with water, and gave her to eat so that I could say the prayer. I prayed it. After that, I took some radish and carrot, and then we started again walking towards our house. Now the time of evening has come, and we have reached our house. Then the Saint Yazid Bastami Ramtullah took out that hanky he has given to, he has put it on his face. He said to the followers, the people gathered over there, have you heard all this? I'm going to ask some questions to him. Now, loudly, you will answer. Okay? Had you paid the amount you took radish or carrots from that field? That person said no. Had you taken permission from that person for eating these radish and carrots? He said no. And that night you both intercoursed, and this child has born after 9 months. That is why I have said this child is not legal. Such a trivial thing, we have never think of it. The standard of checking would be such a trivial. That is why it is said it is a pulsrath. Pulsrath mean a state way, a bridge state way mean you have to pass through a bridge which is so narrow that it would be a needle thing, a tip of the needle. The ulama, all the religious people say like that. But I am going to say it like this, that you have to be held answerable to Allah in such a minor way, in such a delicacy, that you will be giving answers like the example I have quoted. So, we have to live being a Muslim, and the people who are having books of religious books, Bible and other books, they have to live in this world with such a delicacy that they will be held answerable in the day of judgment like this. So please, while your heart is working, you are alive, you have to sit in front of Allah, in front of God, and ask for forgiveness so that He could forgive us in our lifetime. Let's hope for the best. May Allah help us in becoming a wise man. Ameen. Summa Ameen.